If you ever ask yourself, why am I not prospecting? You come to the right place. Hi, this is Dohn Thornton. I'm Don the short sale guy. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the three things that are keeping you from prospecting. And not prospecting means you're not getting houses. Not getting houses, you ain't getting money. No money for you. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about how fear of success is probably a factor, that you're married to the result and not the process. And also, you don't understand the 90-10% rule. And I'll get into that here later in the video. So let's talk about fear of success. It's so funny how, as much confidence as people exude, and sometimes that is complete just projection, that they're just trying to fake it till they make it. But I think that a fear of success, or this underlying insidious feeling that we have inside of us that says that we're not good enough, we're not going to make it, these doubts that we have in our head, those are hard enough to handle. But I found that anybody who wants to break away from the herd mentality, which is to get a 9 to 5 job, get your education, go through the corporate ladder, that's the traditional method in society, or it has been for many years, for many decades, to be successful, is to have that, to follow that career path. Anybody that goes beyond that, or says, I want to try something differently, then there's huge amounts of negative influence and negative response to that. And here's the unfortunate fact. So many times it's the family. Our families are the ones that are the biggest negative influences on us. And they're going to be carping at us all the time saying, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. What are you doing? You're crazy. You're never going to make it. It's never going to work. Why are you doing this? It's not going to work. Right? um, I know about family negativity because, for those of you who know my history, I can tell you that I went from being on the verge of making $1 million with a pipeline rehabilitation project in Russia to unemployed. Boom. And I could not make money in Russia anymore. So I left my Russian wife, my 2 kids over there with her parents, and I had to come to America, and I had to find some way to make it. And so, I couldn't work. I told myself I was never going to have my family's fate and my fate in the hands of people who are idiots. And that's what I think most corporate people are, idiots. So I said, it's going to be on me or nothing. If I fail, it's because of me. It's not going to be because somebody else making some capricious decision that they didn't feel well that day and said, screw this project. We'll do something else. We'll stay safe. So it took me 2 years to break through. I mean, I started doing mortgages first, and that didn't work. And then I started doing, trying to become a short sale investor. It worked eventually, but it took me a lot of time, lots of time. And I'll never forget this moment that happened. It was in 2022. I had told my wife and my mother-in-law, they had come over for a visit. And I told them that I had made a decision that I was going to be a real estate investor. And they laughed at me. They said, it's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. Oh, it's just another one of your stupid ideas. Why don't you just find a job? And I'll never forget that my mother-in-law looked, we were standing in the kitchen in our house in Orlando, which is actually their house. They bought the house for us as a wedding gift, even though it's still in their name. She said, Don, my husband and I have come to the conclusion that you're never going to make it, that we will always have to be responsible financially for our daughter and our grandchildren, because you're just not going to be able to support them. You don't have it inside you. Can you imagine how bad that hurt? That was I still to this day remember it, right? And during the months and months and months of learning the business and trying to break through and get my first closing, can you imagine how many times I heard that in my head? Maybe they're right. Maybe I'm not going to make it. Maybe I don't have what it takes. So is it any wonder that we don't succeed? Most of us don't succeed when we have that kind of negative influence all around us. And not to mention the fact that We have our own things, so you don't deserve it. It's like the one thing you want it, but then people are telling you, you're not any good, you can't do it, and so you think, well, I don't deserve it anyway. Even if I make it, I don't deserve it. So that's a big deal. That's a big reason why people aren't prospecting, because they're sabotaging. They're sabotaging themselves because that's what they feel like. They they're meant. Destiny tells them that they're going to fail. So why not push destiny along and just make it, put the rubber stamp on it. So what I want you to do is to put a rubber stamp on, or it should be the subscribe button. Okay, go down the corner, you'll see that yellow, that red button, and click subscribe. So that way you get notified whenever I drop a new video. Thanks. So let's talk about the second reason why people aren't prospecting is because they're married to the result and not the process. Oh boy, it's so hard when you're an investor to keep going if your whole focus is on getting a house. In other words, getting a house in your pipeline is the ultimate validation. That means you're doing well. And if you don't have a house in your pipeline yet, that means you're doing poorly. And that is a recipe for sabotage. I mean, that just plays into this tape in your head that you're not worthy, right? Or you're not good enough. So, if for me, it was I was going crazy. I was not making it work, and so I decided that, okay, I am going to just focus on what I can do today. I cannot change the fact that I lost my job 2 months ago, 8 months ago, however long it was when I made this decision. And I said, and I can't focus on what's going to happen in the future. I have today. That's all I have. And so my when I go to bed at night, I'm going to see, did I do this stuff? And if I can check these things off, and I did this, I knocked on doors, I made follow-up phone calls, whatever it was in my process, if I could do an inventory at the end of each day and see that I followed my process for that day, then that was success. And that, I'm telling you guys, that simple mindset change was everything. It was absolutely everything. Okay. So let me circle back to that previous story with my family and how much they didn't think I was going to make it and all this stuff. I asked myself, I'll never forget this. I asked myself when I was depressed, it was like, maybe they're right. And then I had this moment of clarity where it said, okay, so if not this, then what? What am I going to do then? What else out there is better than this? Do I go off a search for the next shiny object? That's just going to play into their belief that I don't have any stability, I don't have any consistency. I said, no, come hell or high water, I'm going to make this work. And so I said, that's it. I'm working. I'm working. I'm working. And that was a huge component of my struggle and how I started turning things around. When I started doing that, that was a huge factor towards my eventual success. Now, I would love it if you would go down to the comments and leave me a comment and let me know if this resonates with you. Is something clicking with you? It's like, yeah, I've been in that position, or I'm in that position now, maybe. I would love to hear from you, and I would be glad to. I'll respond to you. I love it if I can see that what I'm saying has any impact on people. So please go down to the comment section and leave me a comment. Another thing that I realized, and it was actually from my sports background. I was a football and baseball player in high school. I got a full ride scholarship to play baseball in Missouri, and so that was my big thing. And I remember, I don't know who it was. It was something in a baseball context where someone said that the making it to the major leagues is 90% work and 10% talent. And so I thought to myself, you know what? I'm not the best investor. I hope I will become one of the best investors in the country. But right now, I'm not very good. And maybe my talent is only 10%. So if those of you who are out there are thinking, oh, well, you know what, Dohn, I can't be like Dohn because he's done so many short sales and he's made so much money. I can't reach to his level. And it's like, you know what? I'm telling you, I looked at people that were better, that made more money than me. And I said the same exact thing. I can never reach their level. And now I'm higher than them, you know. But this is the difference. 90-10 rule. I thought to myself, okay, maybe I only have 10% of their talent, but I'm going to put 90% of effort in there, and they are not going to outwork me. And that's what I started to do. And I told myself, you know what? I'm going to be the one out there knocking on doors. So I picked out six counties around Central Florida. And I said, I will knock on every single door in those counties every week. And I did. I did it for 6 months. And it took me 6 months of practice and talking to people on the door. And I didn't know what to say to them. I didn't have my scripts worked down yet. So I just had to just play it by ear and wing it. But consistently practicing, consistently talking to people, consistently hearing the same objections over and over again, and trying different ways to answer back, and split testing and seeing what worked and what doesn't work. Eventually, I came to the point where I realized I could answer every single objection they gave me. And I had an immediate answer to them, and I could go back to them. And they started seeing me as the expert because I could just go like this, boom, boom, boom. And so then I started breaking through. And in the fall of 2003, I got 36 houses in my pipeline in 10 weeks. Now, the mentor I was working screwed me over. I didn't get any money from it, but that's a whole separate story. But I knew how to do it. And then I said, okay, I picked myself off the floor because I thought I was about to make it. And I got, kneecapped again. And so I said, okay, you know what? I got to get back at it. I know how to get houses. That's 90% of the success. Now I just got to figure out how to do the short sale stuff myself, and then I can start making money. And sure enough, in February of 2004, had my first closing. I made $50,000 the next, the 2 weeks later, and I was on my way. I made like, I don't know, $800,000 or something like that in 2004. So my point is that if you make sure that you deal with this insane thought that you don't deserve success, and if you can get through all the family crap or negative outside influences and be married to the process, focus on what you can do today, and remember that success is 90% effort and only 10% talent, then you'll do great. And I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's Daily Dawn. Thanks.